Okay, so this next one. I think I'm dating the man that got me pregnant on a one-night stand.
Wow. Spicy.
I'm a single mother to a beautiful little girl from a one-night stand about 4.5 years ago. I had just finished college and had just moved and wasn't looking for anything serious. It also happened just before I left on my 2-month-long post-college vacation. I have been dating this man now for 4 months. He's met my daughter once. They get along extremely well, but I don't let them overlap too much. I don't want to expose her to passing flings. And though he has mentioned wanting to continue, we aren't quite serious yet. Prior to last week, he's been coming back to my place because I had a bad experience going to another man's place a couple years ago. So I went back to his place for the first time. It's the same fucking building as that man. I didn't really recognize it until we pulled into the parking garage and went up the elevator, but I know it is. I recognized the hallways instantly. It also had a very recognizable condo smell. I don't know why I remember that, but I feel like they use the cleaning solutions that spas use, and it smells like eucalyptus and apartment musk. The condo itself is similar, but it's been 4 years, and I honestly don't remember anything but his room, and that he had a red couch and the layout, which I'm assuming is similar for most of the condos. He doesn't have the couch, but the layout's the same, and I'm pretty sure it has the same view from its main window. Before people come for me for not hunting him down, etc., when we slept together, I had just moved to the city after my master's. I never would have found his condo myself because I bussed back. Also, we had been drinking, obviously.
Sorry, when you said bust back, I was thinking like bust it down because I bust back. Anyway.
Bust it down, Tatiana.
Yeah. Oh, okay, go on.
It's been a week, but I genuinely think it's him now because though they were busy, we met both times at 2 very similar events. 4 years ago, the man had shoulder-length wavy dark hair and a thick beard when we slept together. He does have a similar skin tone, kinda Mediterranean. The man I am dating has short cropped dark hair, light stubble, and glasses. He is also of Italian background. They have the same name. It's a very basic American name, so I never connected it together. Also, to make it worse, I likely look very different too. I used to be very thin and suffered from an eating disorder that my pregnancy really helped me to overcome. I've gained 30 pounds that I really needed. I also had short hair that I straightened, and I'm half black and admittedly look very different now with my longer curly hair. I've been dwelling on this for the entire week. I don't know what I'm asking, but I don't know if I also need legal advice or if I should cut contact because even if it isn't him, I don't think I'll ever be able to get over this weird feeling that it is. Is there a way to bring this up? Should I message him and let him have the option to ghost me? I'm scared he'll think I'm crazy if I bring this up or that I planned it or something weird like that. How do I approach this? Or should it not be approached at all? It's so fucking mental. I don't know what to do.
Pluck his hair. Swab his cheek.
Oh.
Sorry if absolutely none of this makes any sense. Also, to be clear, I am stable time-wise and money-wise. I do not need this man in my life. My daughter has 2 amazing father figures in her uncles who visit every other day and absolutely love their roles in her life and would probably steal her if they could.
That's really cool.
That was really amazing.
You don't feel unresolved?
Well, yeah.
No,
people
I think we're just the uncle, right?
Oh, yeah,
That's what
yeah.
you mean.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No, but if we find out that this is the dad, I'm going to start fucking bawling.
We have edits.
Listen.
We have edits.
The world is way smaller than you think.
It's tiny.
Like a small version is Morgan and I went to like this Rolling Stone event. I met this guy. He supposedly like typed in his Instagram. Never found it.
We lost it.
All of a sudden at another event, there he is. And I'm like, I think that's the guy. And we reconnected. Now we have like a session booked and everything. But
so crazy.
It's so small.
The world is smaller
I
than you think.
recognized him by his pants.
And it's just like even tonight at the music event I went to, first person I talked to, oh, so where are you from if you're not from LA? Minneapolis. And it's just like, so I'm not surprised that people connect again in these very weird ways, especially if you're still in the same city and you have the same passions and you do the same things, there's a reason you met the first time. And like, it's not surprising for me to run into people again.
No, it's definitely crazy how small the world is, especially when you bring it down to a city and you bring it down to hobbies and you bring it down to, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah. Parties that you like to go to, whatever. Like you start to, the friend groups like all start to kind of come together. But this though, to me, like this is the universe. And this is like some crazy energy in the universe bringing them back together. If this is the case.
True.
Morgan knows something. Let's go.
Well, but it's also like a little bit like how I sort of knew Alejandra and people of all the friend groups and never knew Morgan.
Yeah.
Even though my path should have crossed with Morgan's many more times than mine with anyone else in the friend group.
Yeah, I mean, we were
So it's
definitely
just like-
same place, same time. There's no doubt.
Like there's definitely things like that. But I'm just like, when you first started reading it, I'm like, how do you not remember what they look like? And then I started thinking about it and I'm like, okay, I understand. Because the looks are different and whatever.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
People age and like there's people where like I run into them and they're like, hi. And I'm like, hi. And we start talking. Like I never.
you're like, oh yeah, we banged.
I am trying to think about if there's anyone who I've slept with that I can't like really remember or like that I don't know who they are and never knew who they were. And I don't know if I do, but
What about the guys we met at Beanbags in Santa Monica? If I saw him on the street, I don't think I'd recognize him.
that's true, but we didn't have, maybe you did.
Biggest mistake of my life. Instantly, I felt it and it was regret.
But you're right. I don't remember what either
What
of
does
their
that
faces
mean?
look like.
It was quite small.
Oh, you've told me that story.
Yeah.
Well, people
I really
be-
hope he doesn't listen to this.
Listen, people be having some risky one night stand sex, dude.
Well, I mean, that's called
that's
that's called alcohol for you.
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes we
Well,
get silly.
I understand that, but not me, dude.
No, I was just talking to one of my friends today about
You good
this.
boy.
Who she was like, yeah, this guy asked me at Coachella, wait, so I don't get it. Why do you want to use a condom if you have an IUD?
Dude.
HIV, AIDS,
Yeah.
chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes.
I was
Let's go
like-
down the list,
Literally,
bitch.
I was like, this is a moment where it's like a guy is thinking with their dick. You are not thinking with your brain. What kind of question is that?
Do people not understand that like IUDs and things don't prevent against
Unsure.
sexually transmitted infections?
We are very uneducated in terms of sexual health.
Sexual
So-
education in America should no longer be taught by gym teachers.
I mean, I learned
I
a
wasn't
lot
taught by a
from
gym
the gym
teacher.
teacher in Mean Girls. So
That's Mean Girls. Your health class wasn't taught by your gym teacher?
No.
Was yours?
no.
Fuck you,
We went to them
Hermantown.
big schools.
Hermantown High School?
We had big schools.
We
Like
were
your
in the
class was
cities.
dedicated to that, right?
Did you
had a class
did
dedicated?
you get to
Yeah.
roll on a condom in your class?
I don't remember. I know I remember hearing that people did that, and I was actually like really excited about it. I thought it was super risky.
There
Like,
was-
didn't have like any like sexual
Right?
interactions with anyone at the time, so I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
There was a class in college at the University of Minnesota where it was like the biology of sex. And unfortunately, because I wanted to be a health major, I couldn't take that one. I had to take the real
I
biology.
took that class.
Yeah, you got to roll the banana and like it was a good time.
not in the University of Minnesota.
Yeah, everyone told me that they got to do condoms on bananas, and it was just,
Just
like
do it at home.
I'm
I'm not sure, but we did go over the vagina wall, and that was a cool.
You had plenty of
experience.
practice anyway.
I do like putting condoms on. I think it's fun. I like taking them off more because I enjoy wrapping it like a balloon so the semen doesn't like leak out.
I just
We're going to. I said I wanted to be unhinged on this episode, and I'm delivering.
I just know, there's two different types of people that listen to this show, and obviously I'm just generalizing it to this, but there's the people who like our fucking random ass stories that we tell on the side, and there's people who are like, give me the fucking Reddit stories only, bitches.
well, let's go. Here's that. It's
And I was gonna say the people, like the second group of people, are gonna be so pissed right now because we're ready for this. We're ready for the end of this. Okay, let's go.
edit. It's him.
Shut the fuck up.
He had the red couch, I remembered. So if anyone has any suggestions about how to tell a man this, that would be great.
Wait, what? How does she
Thanks.
know? She just thinks it's him because of the red couch?
Creep on Instagram. You'll find enough info.
Isn't
But
it
what
funny
if
how
what
you
if
can?
what if he subleased the guys whose place it was entire place? Like she doesn't know for a fact yet, right?
We got more edits, Lauren.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Edit number 2. I sent him this post. I don't know how else to do it. He saw it a half hour ago and has yet to respond. So I'm going to bed.
Oh my god.
Thumbs up emoji.
Okay, the people that can go to bed with shit like this, God bless you. That's fucking a talent.
Dude,
I would
how?
literally just be up staring at my ceiling, blank face, like waiting.
I would be pacing. I would be pacing the floor. Like I couldn't sit still.
Maybe we did meet before and just didn't know it.
Honestly, if your hair looked like the way it did in the videos I've seen, I could imagine that. Yeah. I wouldn't recognize you with your old hair. It was quite different.
You guys, this
True.
is so amazing.
Okay, edit 3. I woke up to a lot more comments than I was expecting. And I just dropped my daughter at her uncle's, so I will respond to what I can now. I'm getting some flack for telling him this way, but until you're in an absolutely insane position like this, you don't know how impossible it is to broach a topic like this. I'm not a shy person, but this was enough to almost make me contemplate ghosting him, even though I do like him and I know it's wrong. We've been talking for 6 months and dating for 4. He asked about monogamy 2 weeks ago. I agreed. With this post, I sent him a picture of me 5 years ago and told him the event and when, where, and any other small details I could remember, and the sonogram with the date I have on my fridge. He messaged at like 4 a.m. to say, yes, I was there, I remember you, and I've seen the text bubbles popping up and disappearing all morning. I don't have any other update, and I'm not sure I will. I clearly only looked for potential partners who would be okay with a woman with a kid in the picture. My daughter is the world to me, but I'm not sure how this cannot be an incredible shock. I'm going to give him time and contact my family's lawyer with a shitstorm I know I've just caused. I do want to have a laugh, though, at the people who think it's impossible of me to have forgotten what a one-night stand looked like. It was 5 years ago. We have both clearly changed a lot, and we had been drinking. There are people I don't recognize from university who sat next to me in class for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the help earlier. I'll probably have to delete this, but this has really helped me calm down. I used to journal a lot before I had my daughter.
Ugh.
I
That's so
feel like those.
crazy.
I feel like those people didn't have one night stands, probably, or enough of them
the people
to not.
that, yeah.
But fuck, what was I gonna
Wow.
say, dude?
One-night stands. People don't remember.
Oh,
It
I was gonna
happens.
say, isn't it interesting that sometimes you can remember the place more than the people?
Well, places are typically
and I'm not
a
talking
pattern
just about
too.
one night stands. I'm talking about like think about something in the past, whether it's like a day on the lake or an event you went to. Sometimes you'll remember the space and what the surroundings looked like more than
Yeah.
you remember the people that you met or talked
Absolutely.
to.
Yeah.
So 100%.
Yeah, my memory,
That's something
sometimes it's great, sometimes
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's something I think about constantly where I'm like, why does my brain remember this one
Perfectly.
perfectly? And
Yeah.
it's the most like irrelevant thing. And I'm like, I remember this most irrelevant thing, but I don't remember some of the most fun nights of my life very clearly. And
Right.
like nights that I wasn't even drinking or like whatever, like the excuse could be because
I
that
think
is
that's 'cause
valid.
there's so much stimulation because I've done that before too. I
Yeah.
didn't black out at all. It was so fun. And in the moment, I remembered every conversation that I was saying. But then it's like, after that, it's like there was almost so much stimulation
Yeah.
going
It
on
overwhelmed.
that it's
Yeah.
like, it kind of gets clouded.
Yeah.
Until
True.
someone's telling you directly, then it can kind of like jog.
Refresh.
Yeah.
Do you have any of those childhood memories from way back?
My first birthday party.
You're right. And you definitively can like
was
close your
so
eyes
bad.
and you're in that moment.
It was so
Isn't
bad.
that crazy?
So many. Yeah.
And then you also can't
It's
remember like what
perfect.
happened 2 nights ago. kind of
Literally.
thing.
Yeah.
Literally.
But I will say with this story, how she went at it, in the words of Jerry,
You guys, we still have more.
she would have been like,
Oh my
She
God.
would have asked, how do I approach this?
Yeah.
Your dad would have been like, straight on. You got to go straight to him.
And do it with
And do it,
elegance.
yes, exactly.
Do it with
but,
grace.
But in this case, that's the way to do it, I think. You got to just be like, listen, this is a crazy situation, but were you here? Did you do this? You know? I mean, what else are you going to do? Start being like playing
So wild.
Clue and like you have to keep finding the random things. I don't know. You got to just ask for it.
Do you want the last final update?
Nah, next story.
Yeah, actually, I think I'm over it. Let's move on.
Okay.
Just to piss off group number 2. Can you imagine?
Okay. Up next. Am I the asshole for yelling? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So, update. Sorry, new phone, so forgive the formatting. I doubt this will be the update everyone was hoping for.
Oh no.
But he bounced, to put it politely. Won't answer my calls or messages, though I don't think he actually blocked me. We talked the first few days, exchanged pictures, etc. It's definitely him. He knows it is. Then about a week ago, nothing. I guess I could go by his place, but I don't particularly care to, and I doubt he'd appreciate it. If this is his choice, he can stick with it. I didn't get a choice when this happened, even though it's the happiest accident of my life, but I didn't have the option either. I own a business and have been debating the opportunity to move to invest in a small estate in Europe for a few years, and have been putting off the decision. He was aware of this while we were dating. My daughter's uncles are even planning on moving with us for the opportunity, since they both have dual citizenship like us. So I'm sorry if this is disappointing for lots of you. I do wish him the best, but I think big, insane moments like this are eye-opening. I also think my daughter would benefit from experiencing Europe. If he gets back in contact, I would be willing to pay for his flights and housing, etc. for him to get to know her, but I don't think that will be the case. I hope you all are well and that it didn't add too much of a downer to your days, but I got a lot of requests to update.
Okay, so even though, like, I'm still like gonna cry because I don't know, all this is just so
Emotionally overwhelming.
It's still beautiful to me though, because
She got an answer and she now knows.
Yeah, she got an answer and she now knows. And not only that, but you think about the daughter, it's like, we've talked about this before when people, sometimes people just want to know who their biological parents are.
Yeah.
Even if they're adopted, they still look at their adoptive parents as their parents, but they just want to know.
It's
right?
just the knowing.
Yeah.
That's why I Googled the ends of movies.
Yeah. So I think that I just think this is beautiful because she was on the path of just not ever knowing. And the little girl would have just never known. And now they have an answer.
Yeah.
And yes, like, he's probably in shock. I would not say that this is the last they'll hear of him at all.
That's why I'm unresolved.
Yeah, like, he's probably in shock. He's probably going through some type of midlife crisis. Like, not even just his world just got turned upside down, right?
You have a kid that you didn't know about, and now they're like
4.5, 5 years.
Yeah, and who knows? Like, she doesn't know him that well. Who knows? Like, maybe he's like dipped into depression because he feels guilt or whatever. You know what I mean?
A lot of unresolvedness here.
Exactly, right? So I would just say that this, and the way she writes is beautiful because it sounds like she's at peace. But I would just say that this is still a good ending because they found answers, and I don't think it's the last that they'll hear from him.
Completely agree.
And even if they don't, not every story like this has to end in a big, happy Hollywood love story.
You're right. She has 2 incredible uncles.
She is like, and you know, honestly, I don't even care if he doesn't want to because she has everything's great. She is so settled, and it feels like their setup is so settled that it wasn't hinging on anything to do with this guy.
Exactly.
So him walking is better than him agreeing and in the back of his mind not fully wanting to
and
or
just
something.
half-assing it.
And not only that, if he agreed to do it but didn't really want to,
half-ass
and then
it,
she stayed and didn't go to Europe and follow her dream because of that, and now he has legal rights over the kid, so she has to stay. Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all for the best.
Right. And
I would, yeah.
I am in agreement that I don't think it's the last they'll hear. I do think there is a shell shock moment because you find out you have a kid and it's been years, which would, like, I don't know. It could happen. I guess it couldn't happen to you guys, but it could happen to me. It could,
Justin looks like, could happen to any of us.
I'm saying it could happen to anybody. Like, you never know.
Yeah, we've talked about this, like with guys versus girls, how like guys could potentially have so many other.
So that's literally the timing for me. I'm 4 years out. So it could be like all of a sudden someone approaches.
The last girl you dated before me, her name was also Morgan.
I didn't date anyone.
Well, you fucked her a lot.
Okay, that doesn't need to be in here. We don't need to be that unhinged.
what if-
I'm having
no.
a great conversation right now.
I am too.
I know. All I'm saying is I would be utterly shocked and I'd probably like push it away very quickly at first because
Yeah. You don't want it to disrupt
you're not
everything.
instantly going to be like, oh my God, yes, I'm coming to New York. I'm in love with everything and you and like,
Yeah.
you would just be like, wait, what the fuck? It's different here because they're dating.
I mean, obviously, I think we all agree that we think it sucks that he doesn't want to just like jump up and like be the role.
Or at least not ghost her.
Yeah, the ghosting is fucked up.
I'm not expecting him to instantly be dad, but when you ghost someone that just told you, hey, we share a child, and they didn't just like, it wasn't like I sent you the post and then he never responded. They talked for a week after and exchanged pictures and had more of a conversation, and then he ghosted. That's where it gets really scumbaggy. And maybe he just needs that time to really rationalize things and come to terms with what's happened. And maybe he was really in shock, but able to still like communicate. I don't know. I think it's scummy, but I'm happy for her.
I will say, I don't know if I've ever gotten your guys' opinion on this, but I had long left New York. I was living in LA.
Uh-huh.
And when I met Morgan and we became like, it was starting to get serious. Morgan wasn't there yet, but I was there, right? And so when we were there, I got to this point where I don't know why, but I just felt the need to close the loop with some open-ended. But was it weird that I felt the need to close the loop with some of the people that, yeah, I wasn't dating, but I also, it wasn't just friends with benefits. You have like, I always connect with people. I always have friendships with people. I can't just show up and like do the deed and leave. Like that's not me. It's more like I would sit down, we'd catch up, have wine, hang out and like whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes stuff didn't happen. Like that's the thing. But even still, when I met Morgan and it started to become serious, I still like messaged and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know I met someone, I'm serious about them. And like, I'm so thankful to have known you and I love our friendship. So like stay in touch. But it was more saying like, hey,
Morgan's like, are you still in touch?
Well, it's more
I'm
like
kidding.
it's more like I'm in something serious, but
You're giving them the respect that their relationship
I want to like close
with you,
the loop to say like, hey, I didn't know if there's any feelings. I also didn't know if that was a thing. So I wanted to close the loop so there's not like this open-ended, oh, I'm like holding out or I'm hanging on hope that maybe this guy will come back to New York or something. I wanted to like...
Or he'll fly me out to LA. No.
Well, you know what I mean? I
think
to
that's
like...
the most respectful thing ever. Like hearing that
And there's no way I needed to because I had already moved.
Yeah. And that just shows like the type of guy you are where you did give relationships that like you were friends, but also, you casually hooked up here and there. Like you still gave them the respect they deserved. I think it's just like, just give people the decency they deserve. They're people. They have feelings. Be nice.
I do think that ghosting is a problem in our generation.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like people get it in their heads that because it's been so long, it's too late to say anything.
Yeah.
And it's just not. Like, maybe the person will be like, go fuck off. Or like give you a thumbs up or won't respond. But I promise you, it's just a good thing to do.
It is. And like this is like also relevant to me right now. I've just been dealing with so much burnout and really just like trying to keep myself afloat that like I do accidentally not respond to a lot of people on like text messages lately.
Yeah, same.
And that's really, really bad. And I understand that like that's shitty. Like that is so shitty. No one should be left on red. No one should be ghosted. But like when you feel you're barely keeping your lifeboat afloat, it's literally the analogy that the therapist gave us last week. Like when you're on your boat and you can't keep deploying like planks to other boats to help them. Like I was just like, I'm so focused on keeping my own boat afloat that I felt like I didn't even have the capacity within myself to reply at that moment. And then now it's been like weeks. And so give people some sort of closure because you don't realize like how bad your actions could affect someone to where that's something they didn't get closure from and affects them for the next 10 years.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
And I do agree with that though, like because we were speaking about romantic relationships,
It
but,
goes in every
non-romantic
context.
relationships, I can be the worst fucking texter. And
So bad, you guys.
And it's honestly hard, especially when we talk about ADD symptoms. It's like when I get a lot of different text messages and yet I have a lot of things to do for work. And then I have a lot of things to do, for example, my house when I'm moving.
Yeah.
It's like I have all these things going on in my brain that almost when I see a bunch of like dots of text messages and I feel like I need to respond to them, but then I get so overwhelmed that I almost like throw my phone to the side and I'm like,
You shut down.
Yeah.
You shut down because
Yeah.
you're so overwhelmed by everything. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little bit more of a difficult one to tackle. Cause like you said, you got to take care of yourself first. But like, I
Yeah.
think if you have an actual romantic relationship with someone
You owe
and
them
you've been
an
talking
immediate-
every single day, like
Yeah.
throughout the entire day, and then all of a sudden just
Bye.
crickets, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like just, that's where it's like, you got to be a little bit more considerate there for sure.
Yep.
Well, in 2 Outtakes fam, no pick me comments. I did not say that as a pick me
What do you mean?
What?
by being like, I was good and I message everyone.
No, you're fine.
I already got my girl. Her
I
name's
have
Morgan.
to-
And I'm happy and I'm not looking. So I'm not a pick me.
That sounded like a very pick me thing to say.
That was more pick me than the original.
How? I'm saying I'm not showing off. I'm saying I
I
already
don't
got my
know.
person.
I don't even understand what a pick me is anymore.
yeah, clearly.